talaga naman na maraming question dun sa desisyon at marami na tayong narinig ng mga statements sa mga legal luminaries, sa mga former members of the Supreme Court. And then the latest nga po, yung yung kakalabas lang kanina, was the statement from individual members of the UP Law faculty.
Yeah.
Okay, so ang malinaw is that there is an imperative need to really file a motion for reconsideration. And the House already made it clear, the Speaker already made it clear na talagang magpa-file ng MR within the 15-day period. And then malinaw din na talagang kailangan talaga na lalo natin ma-magnify, ma-engage ang taong bayan tungkol sa issue na to. Kasi ang daming implikasyon nito sa usapin ng accountability ay malaki ang implikasyon. Kasi nga ang nagiging parang consensus among those who already commented on it, on the decision, is that pinapahirap nito lalo ang mga requirements, ang process ng impeachment, na may mga binago, may binagong patakaran, at meron din dinagdag na mga patakaran or steps, lalo na if what is initiated is yung 1/3 vote from the House members. So this is something that should be really watched over by the people, kung ano ang magiging tugon ng Supreme Court sa iahain na motion for reconsideration. Talagang ina-uphold nila yung prerogatives ng House dahil nga pinakialaman dyan sa desisyon na yan. Instead of judicial restraint, ay nasobrahan yung pakikialam ng Supreme Court, naging judicial activism na parabang wala naman po sa lugar. So, this is something that we cannot really just momentarily, we cannot really gloss it over yung implications ng SC decision na ito. And even on the part, diba, kasi marami namang nagsasabi na at the very least, prospective application lang instead of retroactive application, ay apply na kaagad yung mga bago nilang mga patakaran na linagay sa Supreme Court decision. But even that, we have to be careful also about that. Even that, I'm not amenable. Why? Kasi nga, that means, okay na sa atin, yung mga inintroduce na mga bago, lalo na yung tungkol sa how to initiate, when is it considered as deemed initiated, and also the additional requirements kapag 1/3 ang magpa-file. Imagine, requirements of due process, requirements of prior notice, and be furnished with copies of the evidence, due process, which is something that the requirement of due process can very well be accorded the impeached official at the trial stage already. Kaya nga may trial. So even that, dapat hindi pwedeng sabihin, sige, okay lang yan. But you have to apply it retroactively, prospectively, instead of retroactively. Not even a prospective application, I think, would be good for the stability of our constitution, our democratic processes, our mechanisms of accountability. It should still be questioned. Dapat malinaw at malakas ang magiging arguments sa motion for reconsideration about those two aspects. Kasi dun nga sa pag-interpret ng when is it initiated, unang-una, that was premised on erroneous factual conclusions or factual findings, misappreciation of the crucial facts and events that transpired prior to the transmittal of the articles of impeachment to the Senate. And then yung tungkol naman dun sa direct filing ng 1/3, that would practically disrupt and delay to a significant degree the impeachment process and intruding into the exclusive prerogative of the House, as now argued in that statement of the UP Law faculty. So yan ang paningin ko dyan. And that's why we cannot blame certain sectors, certain groups. Ang sinasabi nila parang naging self-serving kasi para ba sinadya yung magiging mas stricto para mahirapan na talaga yung pagfa-file. And remember, they are themselves impeachable officials. And siguro naman they know, and the very rational ng mga drafters of the Constitution, kung bakit binigay sa Congress yung power to initiate and to try impeachment cases, ay dahil nga members of Congress are not among the impeachable officials.
Yes.
As an impeachable officials lang are from the judiciary to the Supreme Court, and then the executive, president, vice president, and constitutional commissions. So dun sa constitutional scheme of things, sa structure ng gobyerno natin under the Constitution, yung legislature talaga ang pinakapwede na mag-handle ng mechanisms of accountability as to those high officials kasi nga hindi naman impeachable officials ang mga miyembro ng Kongreso. And I'm sure the Supreme Court knows it. Kasi alam mo na, I think hindi rin maiiwasan na some of them maybe are thinking about the previous cases of impeachment. The Corona, and then the Gutierrez, the attempted Gutierrez, the attempted impeachment then kay former CJ Davide, and even Justice Marvic Leonen himself may attempt then noon to also file impeachment complaints. So they're trying to be sure now about na, but that is very, very questionable. That is actually wrong, constitutionally defective na sila ang mag-i-impose ng mga ganyang mga requirements when the Constitution on itself does not so impose. Because now the whole rationale is mas madali na magpapanagot dun sa mga matataas na opisyal na yan. And what are they, afraid of? Na yung impeachment process naman, it does not result really in imprisonment or whatever administrative or any other criminal sanctions, because the whole aim of impeachment is tanggalin na kaagad yung hindi karapat-dapat na hindi nadadaan sa mga masalimuot at matagal na judicial process, whether it's a criminal process or an administrative process, because in the first place, impeachment proceedings are not criminal, administrative, or even civil. Kaya tinatawag na sui generis. Ibang-iba na to, ibang-iba to. Kaya hindi dapat pinapa-apply ng strictly yung mga evidentiary rules and even yung about due process, etc. Doon sa nagiging preparation ng Office of the Solicitor General, doon sa pag-prepare at pag-file ng motion for reconsideration. But I'm expecting na at least ay bigyan kami ng kopya, any interested member or sino mga magre-request ng mga members of the House na makakita nung draft man lang para baka naman meron kaming pwedeng mag-contribute na inputs. Kasi ang daming mga substantive, napakaseryosong mga issues na raised now, and therefore it's very important na ma-present at ma-articulate ng Office of the Solicitor General these grounds and arguments, starting with the strongest argument all the way down to kahit hindi masyadong strong, but at least it would help in the deliberation. And right now, actually, even if yung iba, if not marami, ay parang sinasabi na ngayon na wala nang pag-asa yan. Dahil nga, it's unanimous. I think they can still do a rethinking and re-examination of these points when the proper motion for reconsideration is filed. And, hoping also that they admit their own mistakes in appreciating certain crucial facts dyan sa usapin. What's wrong with that? That if they admit, kasi, no one is infallible. Nagkakamali rin naman. Even institutions can really commit errors other than individual members of the institution. So, I'm really hoping, anyway, hope springs eternal. Hindi ako nawawala ng pag-asa na magkaroon ng talagang pagbabago, at least man lang the majority. O kaya if the majority still opts to stand by their original decision and would opt to deny the motion for reconsideration and insist on its core ruling na naging unconstitutional yung pag-initiate and therefore wala na daw jurisdiction ang Senate over the trial, ay at least man lang may ilan sa kanila na mag-dissent.